My beloved child, pause for a moment and listen carefully. Before you move on to the next thought, before you allow the noise of this day to pull your attention away once again, I want you to consider something deep within your heart. Have you ever wondered why you are here right now? Out of all the moments in your life, out of all the voices you could be listening to, out of all the paths your day could have taken, why did this moment appear before you? Why did your eyes stop here? Why does something inside you feel the urge to keep listening even when you cannot fully explain it? My child, there is a reason. There is always a reason when heaven reaches toward a willing heart. Nothing about this moment is random. Nothing about this encounter is meaningless. Long before this day arrived, long before you carried the burdens you now carry, long before the questions that weigh upon your mind began stealing your peace, I knew this moment would come. I knew where you would be. I knew what you would be feeling. I knew the silent battles you would face and the hidden tears you would cry when no one else was looking. And because I knew, I prepared this moment for you. You may think you stumbled upon this by chance. You may believe it is only another message passing through your day. But deep inside, there is a quiet stirring that tells you something different. There is a whisper beneath the surface saying, "Pay attention. Do not rush away. There is something here for you." That whisper is not an accident. That gentle pull you feel is not your imagination. It is the tender invitation of a loving shepherd who knows exactly where his sheep are wandering. My child, I have watched you walk through seasons that left you weary. I have seen the questions you never spoke aloud. I have heard the prayers that escaped your lips in moments of exhaustion. I have listened to the sighs that no one else understood. And because I love you, I do not allow every moment to pass without reaching toward you. Sometimes I speak through stillness. Sometimes I speak through scripture. Sometimes I speak through unexpected encounters. And sometimes I arrange a moment like this, a divine appointment hidden within an ordinary day, so that your heart may stop long enough to hear my voice again. There are people who move through life believing everything is coincidence. They believe timing is random. They believe moments simply happen without purpose. But you are beginning to discover something deeper. You are beginning to realize that I am a God of purpose. I am a God of timing. I am a God who sees the end from the beginning. When I open a door, there is a reason. When I allow a moment to capture your attention, there is a reason. When I place a message before your eyes, there is a reason. And the reason is always rooted in my love for you. Perhaps lately, you have felt distant. Perhaps life has become loud. Perhaps responsibilities, disappointments, worries, and unanswered questions have filled your thoughts until it became difficult to hear my gentle voice. But even then, I never stopped watching over you. I never stopped caring. I never stopped pursuing your heart. You may have felt unnoticed. You may have wondered whether your prayers still mattered. You may have questioned whether anyone truly understood what you were carrying. But my child, I saw it all. Every struggle, every disappointment, every moment you tried to be strong while secretly feeling exhausted. And because I saw it, I arranged this moment, not to condemn you, not to shame you, not to remind you of your failures. I arranged this moment because I wanted to remind you that you are still seen, still loved, and still part of my plan. There is a hidden message woven into this very encounter, but it is not hidden because I want to keep it from you. It is hidden because your heart must slow down enough to receive it. The world teaches you to hurry. The world teaches you to keep scrolling, keep moving, keep distracting yourself from what is happening within your soul. But I am inviting you to do something different. I am inviting you to be still for a moment. I am inviting you to listen. I am inviting you to believe that perhaps this timing is more significant than it first appears. Perhaps this moment was prepared for you long before you arrived. Perhaps heaven has been reaching toward you more often than you realized. Perhaps what you called coincidence was actually compassion. Perhaps what you dismissed as random was actually grace. And perhaps the reason you are here right now is because I love you too much to remain silent while your heart searches for answers. So stay close, my child. Do not let this moment slip away too quickly. There is more unfolding than you can currently see. There is more happening beneath the surface than you understand. The story is only beginning, and the one who called you here has not forgotten your name. My beloved child, now that your heart has become still enough to listen, I want to speak to the place within you that few people truly see. There is a weight you have been carrying for longer than you realize. It is not always visible on your face. It does not always appear in your words. Many around you believe you are managing well. They see you continuing forward. They see you fulfilling responsibilities. They see you showing up day after day. But they do not see what happens inside you when the day grows quiet. They do not hear the conversations you have with yourself when no one else is around. They do not feel the exhaustion that settles deep within your soul. My child, I see it. I see how tired you have become, not only physically tired, but emotionally tired, spiritually tired, the kind of exhaustion that sleep cannot fully remove, the kind that follows you into the morning and remains beside you long after the sun has set. You have been carrying concerns that never seem to leave your mind, questions without clear answers, pressures that continue to build, expectations that feel impossible to satisfy. There have been days when you smiled even though your heart felt heavy. There have been moments when you encouraged others, while secretly wishing someone would encourage you. You have given strength away while feeling your own strength slowly fading. And because you have become so accustomed to carrying these burdens, you hardly remember what it feels like to set them down. I know about the silent struggles you rarely speak about, the disappointments you keep hidden because you do not want to become a burden to anyone else, the fears you push aside because you believe you must remain strong, the wounds that never fully healed because life kept moving and you never had the chance to stop and tend to them. There are moments when your heart feels crowded with emotions you cannot easily explain, moments when sadness appears without warning, moments when anxiety quietly steals your peace, moments when loneliness visits even while surrounded by people. You wonder why you feel this way. You wonder why your spirit feels weary even when you are doing your best to keep moving forward. My child, I know. I have watched every step. I have seen the emotional fatigue that has settled over you little by little, not through one great event, but through countless small battles. One disappointment after another, one delay after another, one unanswered question after another, like drops of water slowly filling a vessel until it becomes heavier than you expected. You have carried heartbreaks you never fully processed. You have carried regrets you never completely released. You have carried responsibilities that seemed to multiply every time you thought life might become easier. And somewhere along the way, exhaustion became your normal. There are nights when your mind refuses to rest, nights when you replay conversations, nights when you revisit old wounds, nights when you wonder whether things will ever truly change. You may not say these things aloud, you may not even admit them to yourself, but I know every hidden thought. I know every quiet ache. I know every moment when you felt unseen, every moment when you questioned your worth, every moment when you wondered if anyone truly understood the depth of what you were carrying. My beloved child, you have become so skilled at appearing strong that many people no longer recognize how much strength it takes for you simply to keep going. They see the surface. I see the deeper story. I see the emotional weight beneath the smile. I see the hidden pain beneath the routine. I see the weariness beneath the determination. And I want you to know something important. The fact that you feel exhausted does not mean you are weak. The fact that you feel overwhelmed does not mean you are failing. The fact that you have struggled silently does not mean you have been forgotten. It simply means you have been carrying more than your heart was ever meant to carry alone. And even in the moments when you felt isolated within your own thoughts, even in the moments when no one seemed to notice your struggle, even in the moments when you questioned whether anyone truly saw the real you, I was there, watching, listening, understanding every burden that remained hidden from the rest of the world. My beloved child, when a burden remains on the heart for too long, it often begins to change the way you see yourself. Not all wounds arrive with loud voices. Some arrive quietly. Some settle deep within your thoughts and slowly become beliefs. At first they feel like passing fears, then they become assumptions, and before you realize it, they begin shaping the way you look at your life, your future, and even the way you look at me. I want to gently bring something into the light today, because there are beliefs you have been carrying that were never meant to become part of your identity. Somewhere along your journey, after enough disappointments, enough delays, enough moments when life did not unfold the way you hoped, a quiet voice began whispering to your heart. It told you that you were forgotten. It told you that you were unseen. It told you that perhaps other people mattered more. It told you that your prayers were less important. It told you that your story was somehow less valuable than the stories of others. You may not have spoken those words aloud, but they settled inside you, and over time, you began living as though they were true. My child, I have watched this happen. I have seen how fear disguises itself as wisdom. I have seen how self-doubt pretends to be realism. You tell yourself not to expect too much because you do not want to be disappointed. You tell yourself not to hope too deeply because you are afraid of being hurt again. You tell yourself not to believe good things are possible because you have already endured so many setbacks. Yet beneath all of those thoughts is a hidden belief that says, maybe it will work for everyone else, but not for me. My beloved child, that belief has been stealing more from you than you realize. There is another lie that has weighed heavily upon your heart, the lie that says you are not enough, not strong enough, not faithful enough, not talented enough, not worthy enough. You compare yourself to others and wonder why they seem more confident, more successful, more secure. You look at your mistakes and begin measuring your worth through your failures. You replay old regrets and convince yourself they define who you are. You focus on the chapters that went wrong and forget that your story is still being written. Slowly, self-doubt becomes a lens through which you view everything. Opportunities feel threatening, hope feels risky, love feels difficult to trust. Even blessings become harder to receive because a part of you secretly believes you do not deserve them. I know these thoughts because I have heard them long before you ever put them into words. I know the moments when you questioned yourself. I know the moments when you wondered whether you mattered. I know the moments when fear convinced you to stay small. I know the moments when disappointment convinced you to lower your expectations. I know the moments when loneliness convinced you that no one truly understood you. But my child, these thoughts did not begin with truth. They began with pain. Pain has a way of speaking loudly when it remains unhealed. Fear has a way of sounding convincing when it is repeated often enough, and self-doubt has a way of appearing reasonable when you have carried it for years. Yet none of these voices truly know you. They only know your wounds. They only know your fears. They only know your insecurities. They do not know the purpose I placed within you. They do not know the value I see when I look at you. They do not know the depth of my love for you. So, before you move another step forward, I want you to recognize something important. The exhaustion you have been carrying is not only coming from circumstances. Part of it comes from fighting battles against beliefs that were never meant to rule your heart. And whether you realize it or not, those false beliefs have been quietly shaping the way you see yourself, the way you see your future, and the way you believe I see you. My beloved child, because those false beliefs have been speaking for so long, you have begun seeing yourself through their eyes instead of mine. You have looked at your weaknesses and assumed they defined you. You have looked at your struggles and assumed they revealed your limitations. You have looked at your delays and assumed they reflected failure. But what if I told you that what you see and what I see are often very different things? What if the story you have been telling yourself is not the story I have been writing? My child, you see how tired you are. I see how far you have come. You see the moments when you almost gave up. I see the moments when you found the strength to keep moving even when your heart was breaking. You see the prayers that have not yet been answered. I see every prayer that has strengthened your faith along the journey. You see the chapters filled with uncertainty. I see a testimony still unfolding. There have been many times when you looked in the mirror of your circumstances and concluded that you were not growing, because growth rarely feels dramatic when you are living through it. A tree does not hear itself growing. A seed beneath the soil cannot see its roots expanding. Yet growth is still happening. My child, there is unseen growth within you that you have overlooked. Every time you chose kindness when bitterness would have been easier, you grew. Every time you continued trusting when fear tried to take control, you grew. Every time you got up after disappointment instead of surrendering to despair, you grew. You call those moments ordinary. I call them evidence of strength. You have been measuring yourself by outcomes while I have been looking at your heart. You focus on what has not happened yet. I see who you are becoming. You focus on what you have lost. I see what has been built within you. You focus on the doors that closed. I see the wisdom you gained while waiting. You focus on the battles. I see the endurance they produced. My beloved child, there is hidden strength inside you that you do not fully recognize because it was developed in quiet places, not on stages, not in moments of applause, not in seasons when everything felt easy. It was developed in the private moments when no one was watching, in the moments when you chose faith despite uncertainty, in the moments when you continued loving despite disappointment, in the moments when you kept hoping even when the future seemed unclear. Those moments mattered more than you know. The world often celebrates visible success, but heaven notices hidden faithfulness. And there have been countless moments when your faithfulness brought joy to my heart. You thought you were barely holding on. I saw courage. You thought you were weak. I saw perseverance. You thought you were falling behind. I saw preparation. You thought you were surviving. I saw transformation. My child, there are parts of your story that only make sense from my perspective. You see a season of waiting. I see a season of strengthening. You see delay. I see preparation. You see unanswered questions. I see foundations being built beneath the surface. You see emptiness. I see space being created for something new. That is why I want you to be careful about accepting every negative conclusion that fear places before you. Fear only looks at what is visible. I look deeper. Fear measures the present moment. I see the entire journey. Fear tells you what is missing. I remind you what remains. Fear points to your scars. I point to your healing. Fear focuses on your weakness. I reveal the strength that has quietly been growing within you all along. My beloved child, if only you could see yourself for a moment through my eyes, you would discover that you are far more resilient than you believe. You would discover that you are not abandoned, not forgotten, and not failing. You would see that even in your hardest seasons, my hand has been guiding you. You would see that beneath the exhaustion, beneath the doubts, beneath the fears, there is a story of unseen growth, hidden strength, and a heart that has continued moving toward me, even when the path felt difficult. My beloved child, because there is hidden strength growing within you, there is also something else you must understand. Many of the questions that have weighed heavily upon your heart are connected to one question you have asked again and again. Why is this taking so long? Why does it feel like the answer remains just beyond reach? Why does the breakthrough seem delayed? Why does the road ahead still appear uncertain after all this time? I know these questions. I have heard them whispered through tears. I have heard them carried inside weary prayers. I have heard them in moments when hope felt difficult to hold on to. And because I know your heart, I want you to see your waiting season differently than you have before. My child, waiting is rarely wasted, even when it feels uncomfortable. The world teaches you to value speed. The world celebrates immediate results. The world tells you that faster always means better. But much of my work happens beneath the surface, where human eyes cannot easily see it. Consider a seed planted deep in the ground. The day after it is planted, nothing appears different. A week later, the soil may still look unchanged. To someone looking only at the surface, it may seem as though nothing is happening. Yet beneath that soil, life is already at work. Roots are stretching. Foundations are forming. Strength is developing where no one can see it. The hidden work comes before the visible growth. My beloved child, there have been seasons when you felt buried, seasons when life felt dark and uncertain, seasons when progress seemed invisible. But what if you were not being buried? What if you were being planted? What if the very season you called delay was actually preparation? What if the roots being formed within you today are preparing you to carry blessings you could not yet sustain before? You often focus on the fruit because fruit is visible. But I focus on the roots because roots determine whether the fruit can last. Deep roots create stability during difficult seasons. Deep roots create endurance when unexpected challenges arise. Deep roots allow growth to continue, even when circumstances change. And many of the experiences you have endured have been strengthening roots within your heart. There are lessons that can only be learned through waiting. There is wisdom that often arrives through process rather than instant answers. There is faith that grows strongest when you continue trusting, even without seeing the full picture. My child, I know waiting can feel lonely. It can feel confusing. Sometimes it can even feel unfair. You watch others moving ahead while you remain in a season of uncertainty. You wonder whether you have been overlooked. You wonder whether you missed something important. But I want you to remember that every season has a purpose. Spring does not compete with winter. Summer does not rush autumn. Each season accomplishes something unique before the next one arrives. And your life is no different. Some seasons are for planting. Some seasons are for rooting. Some seasons are for growth. Some seasons are for harvest. The difficulty comes when you expect harvest during a season designed for preparation. My beloved child, much of what you have called waiting has actually been growth. Much of what you have called delay has actually been development. Much of what you have called silence has actually been preparation. While you were focused on reaching a destination, I was shaping your heart. While you were focused on receiving an answer, I was building strength within you. While you were watching the clock, I was working on the foundation. And foundations matter because what is coming next must stand on something strong. The process may feel slow, but it is not empty. The waiting may feel long, but it is not meaningless. Beneath the surface, where your eyes cannot fully see, roots are growing. Strength is forming, wisdom is deepening, faith is maturing. And one day you will look back and realize that the season you feared was holding you back was actually preparing you to move forward in ways you could never have imagined. And as those roots continue to grow beneath the surface, another question begins to emerge. If this season has been shaping something within you, then what exactly is being built? Who are you becoming through all of this? My beloved child, many people spend their lives focused only on where they are going. They rarely stop to consider who they are becoming along the way. Yet the person you are becoming is often more important than the destination you are trying to reach. Because destinations can change, circumstances can change, seasons can change. But the character formed within you will travel with you wherever you go. There was a time when certain difficulties would have completely overwhelmed you. There was a time when uncertainty would have stolen your peace more easily. There was a time when disappointment might have convinced you to quit, but look carefully at what has happened inside you. The journey has been changing you in ways you may not fully recognize yet. Wisdom has been growing where confusion once ruled. You have learned things that no book could have taught you. You have gained understanding that only experience can provide. You now notice things you once overlooked. You discern situations differently. You recognize what truly matters and what does not. Lessons that once seemed impossible to understand have slowly become part of your perspective. This wisdom did not arrive all at once. It arrived through ordinary days, difficult conversations, unexpected setbacks, and moments that forced you to look deeper. And while wisdom has been growing, resilience has been growing alongside it. My child, resilience is not the absence of struggle. Resilience is what develops because of struggle. It is the quiet strength that enables a person to continue moving forward even when the road feels difficult. It is the ability to remain standing when circumstances shift unexpectedly. It is the determination that emerges when giving up would seem easier. You may not feel resilient because you remember every moment of weakness, but resilience is not measured by never feeling weak. It is measured by continuing forward despite those moments. Every challenge you have endured has added another layer of strength to your foundation. Every obstacle has taught you something about perseverance. Every season of uncertainty has strengthened your ability to keep walking without seeing the entire path ahead. And there is something else growing within you. Patience. Not the kind of patience that simply waits for time to pass, but the deeper patience that learns to trust the process. The patience that understands not everything can be rushed. The patience that allows growth to happen naturally. The patience that no longer demands immediate answers for every question. This kind of patience is rare because it can only be formed through experience. It develops when expectations are stretched. It develops when timing unfolds differently than planned. It develops when life teaches you that some of the most meaningful things require time to mature. My beloved child, there is another beautiful transformation taking place within you: compassion. Because of what you have walked through, you now understand pain differently. You notice the struggles of others more easily. You recognize hidden burdens because you have carried your own. You understand loneliness because you have experienced it. You understand disappointment because you have lived through it. Your challenges have not only been shaping your strength, they have been softening your heart. They have been teaching you how to extend grace. They have been teaching you how to offer kindness. They have been teaching you how to care for others with greater understanding. The person emerging from this season is not the same person who entered it. Wisdom is being formed. Resilience is being strengthened. Patience is taking root. Compassion is expanding. These are not small things. These are treasures that cannot be purchased and cannot be developed overnight. They are being woven into the very fabric of who you are becoming. And one day, when you look back on this chapter, you may realize that the greatest transformation was not what happened around you. The greatest transformation was what was quietly being built within you the entire time. And as you begin to understand what has been formed within you, another question naturally rises to the surface. If wisdom has been growing, if resilience has been strengthening, if patience and compassion have been taking root, then what should you do now? What comes next? My beloved child, there are moments in life when the greatest step forward is not striving harder, it is not controlling more, it is not carrying additional weight upon your shoulders. Sometimes the most important step is simply opening your hands. Sometimes growth reaches a point where the invitation is no longer about effort. It becomes about surrender. There are burdens you were never meant to carry forever. There are fears that have occupied too much space within your heart. There are old disappointments that still whisper to you, even though the season that created them has already passed. There are wounds that continue to influence your decisions because you have been protecting yourself from being hurt again. But my child, protection can sometimes become a prison. The walls you build to keep pain out can also keep peace from entering. That is why I am inviting you into something deeper. I am inviting you to let go. Let go of the belief that everything depends on your strength alone. Let go of the pressure to have every answer before taking the next step. Let go of the need to understand every detail before choosing trust. There are things that cannot be carried and healed at the same time. There are burdens that become lighter only when they are released. There are fears that lose their power only when they are surrendered. Perhaps there is someone you need to forgive, not because what happened was acceptable, not because your pain was insignificant, but because bitterness has been occupying space that was never meant to belong to it. Forgiveness is not pretending a wound never existed. It is refusing to let that wound continue controlling your future. It is choosing freedom over captivity. It is choosing peace over constant replay. It is choosing to move forward without carrying chains from yesterday into tomorrow. Perhaps there are regrets you need to release, mistakes you continue revisiting, decisions you wish had been different, moments you would change if you could. My beloved child, you cannot rewrite the past by reliving it. You cannot heal yesterday by remaining trapped inside it. The invitation before you is not to deny what happened. The invitation is to stop allowing it to define who you are becoming. There is also a deeper surrender I am inviting you toward, the surrender of trust. Trust when the path ahead remains unclear. Trust when answers arrive slowly. Trust when circumstances continue unfolding one step at a time. Trust does not require complete understanding. Trust simply takes the next step, even when the entire road is not visible. It chooses faith over fear. It chooses hope over despair. It chooses possibility over limitation. My beloved child, you do not need to force your future into existence. You do not need to carry tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. You do not need to solve every uncertainty tonight. The invitation is much gentler than that. Release what was never yours to carry. Forgive what has kept your heart heavy. Surrender what you cannot control. Trust what you cannot yet see. Open your hands, open your heart, take a breath, and allow yourself to move forward with a lighter spirit. Because the next chapter is not asking you to become someone else. It is inviting you to walk forward as the person you have already been becoming through every season of growth, every lesson of patience, every act of courage, and every quiet step of faith along the way. And as you begin releasing what was never meant to define you, another question quietly rises within your heart. What now? What is waiting beyond this season? What exists beyond the struggle, beyond the uncertainty, beyond the long road you have traveled? My beloved child, there is something beautiful about standing on the edge of a chapter you cannot yet fully see. It can feel uncomfortable because the future is hidden, yet it can also be filled with hope because hidden does not mean empty. Just because you cannot see what is ahead does not mean nothing is being prepared. There are seasons when life feels like a closed book, when the pages ahead seem blank and uncertain. But the truth is that many things are unfolding beyond your current view. New opportunities often begin quietly. Restoration often starts beneath the surface. Breakthrough often begins long before it becomes visible. You may be looking at your life and seeing unfinished pieces. You may see questions that remain unanswered. You may see areas where healing still feels incomplete. Yet what you see today is not the final picture. A sunrise does not arrive all at once. First there is darkness, then a faint glow appears on the horizon. Then gradually the light spreads until everything looks different. Many of the changes that matter most begin in exactly the same way. My child, do not assume that because something has not happened yet, it never will. Do not assume that because a door has remained closed, every door will remain closed. Do not assume that because one chapter was difficult, every chapter must carry the same story. Life moves through seasons. Hearts heal. Perspectives change. New relationships form. New opportunities emerge. New strength appears where weakness once seemed permanent. There are possibilities ahead that you cannot currently imagine because you are standing inside today's limitations while I can see beyond them. This does not mean every challenge instantly disappears. It does not mean every question immediately receives an answer. It means that hope remains alive. It means that your story continues moving forward. It means that the future contains more than the pain you have already experienced. Sometimes people become so focused on what was lost that they stop expecting anything beautiful to arrive. They begin protecting themselves from disappointment by expecting very little. Yet hope was never meant to disappear from your heart. Hope is the courage to believe that tomorrow may hold something different than yesterday. Hope is the willingness to leave room for possibility. Hope is the quiet confidence that restoration is still possible even when the path remains unclear. My beloved child, there are gifts that only become visible when you continue walking. There are opportunities that reveal themselves one step at a time. There are moments of restoration that arrive unexpectedly. There are breakthroughs that come not because you forced them into existence, but because you remained faithful through the process that prepared you for them. You do not need to know every detail about what lies ahead. You do not need a complete map of the future. You only need enough light for the next step. And as you continue moving forward, you may discover that the very things you once feared would define your story become the experiences that shaped your wisdom. You may discover that the waiting season prepared you for opportunities you could not have handled before. You may discover that restoration arrives in forms more meaningful than you originally imagined. The chapter ahead is not written by fear. It is not controlled by your past mistakes. It is not limited by your present doubts. There is still room for growth. There is still room for healing. There is still room for unexpected joy. There is still room for new beginnings. And although you cannot yet see everything that is coming, you can move forward knowing that the future holds more possibilities than your fears have allowed you to believe. And now, my beloved child, as this moment gently comes to a close, I do not want you to leave carrying the same weight you carried when you arrived. I do not want you to walk away focused only on your fears, your questions, or the things you cannot yet understand. Instead, I want you to carry something different. I want you to carry peace. Not the kind of peace that depends on perfect circumstances. Not the kind of peace that appears only when every problem disappears. But the deeper peace that remains steady even when life is still unfolding. The peace that comes from knowing that your story is not finished. The peace that comes from knowing that growth has been taking place even when you could not see it. The peace that comes from understanding that your waiting season was not empty, your struggles were not meaningless, and your journey has not been wasted. My child, remember what you have discovered. You are not the person fear told you that you were. You are not defined by disappointment. You are not defined by delays. You are not defined by your mistakes, your regrets, or your unanswered questions. You have been growing in ways you could not always recognize. Wisdom has been taking root. Resilience has been strengthening your foundation. Patience has been expanding your capacity to trust. Compassion has been softening your heart. Even during the seasons when you felt uncertain, something beautiful was being formed within you. Carry that truth with you. When doubt tries to return, remember the roots that have been growing beneath the surface. When discouragement tries to revisit your thoughts, remember that growth often happens in places the eye cannot see. When the future feels unclear, remember that possibility still exists beyond your current horizon. Do not measure your life only by what is visible today. There is more to your story than this moment. There is more to your journey than this chapter. There is more ahead than you currently understand. My beloved child, may your heart rest tonight without carrying burdens that were never yours to hold. May your mind find quiet where anxiety once tried to speak. May your spirit be strengthened with fresh hope. May you walk forward with courage instead of fear, with trust instead of striving, with expectation instead of despair. May you discover joy in ordinary moments and strength for each new day. May you remember that growth is still happening, even when progress feels slow. May you remember that healing often unfolds one step at a time. May you remember that every season serves a purpose. And above all, may you remember that you do not have to carry tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. One step is enough. One day is enough. One moment of trust is enough. Let your heart be still. Let your spirit breathe. Let hope remain alive within you. The road ahead may still hold questions, but it also holds possibility. The chapter ahead may still be unwritten, but it is not empty. Walk forward with peace. Walk forward with confidence. Walk forward knowing that what has been built within you is stronger than what once tried to break you. And carry this truth wherever you go. The season that tested you is not the season that defines you. The growth that came from it will.